Greetings, Star Wars Nation, and welcome to World Reviews. And today we're going to be reviewing The Last Jedi. Now I'm going to give you some of my likes and some of my dislikes about this movie, and there will be spoilers in this review, so you have been warned. So with that, sit down, buckle up, and hit the hyperdrive because World Review starts now. Alright guys, my name is Ro, and just letting you guys know that there's a little bit of noise in the background. My family is ready to celebrate Christmas, and I'm sure you guys are ready to celebrate Christmas as well. So without further ado, let's jump into my likes about this movie. Now by now, most of you guys have seen The Last Jedi, and I really enjoyed that part where Poe is just taking out the cannons from the dreadnought, and that scene where he just flies in and you think he's gonna keep flying, but all of a sudden he does a 180 turnaround, slow motion, and really I never seen that before in a movie, or especially in a Star Wars movie. So I thought that scene was pretty cool, and that got me pumped for what we were gonna see in the movie. And it was kind of neat to see where they were gonna take the story of Luke. I really didn't mind, like a lot of people, seeing a grumpy Luke and kind of Rey trying to beg him to train her. That didn't bother me. I enjoyed those scenes. I enjoyed the scenes of the training. Luke trying to give Rey those 3 lessons, and even though we thought that those lessons were going to help her, and they did in a sense, but those lessons were to discourage her to become a Jedi. So those scenes didn't bother me very much. I really enjoyed seeing them, like I said, and even Rey going into that hole, I guess, of darkness and kind of doing that trick with her hands. I really enjoy that. It's something neat that obviously we haven't seen before, so that was pretty cool to see. Overall, the scenes of Rey and Luke on the island were pretty cool. Even that small humor between the porks and Chewie, I thought that was kind of cute. Some people didn't like that, but you know, I enjoyed it. I kind of chuckled at those things. And the interaction between Luke and R2-D2, Luke not wanting to train Rey, and R2-D2 pretty much turning on and showing that hologram of Leia from A New Hope, that made me want to tear up. That made me want to cry, because I guess to me, that's the Leia, the Carrie Fisher that I remember in the movie. So I thought it was very emotional. And even, you know, Luke kind of admitted him saying like, you know, that was a cheap shot. And I really enjoyed that scene between Mark Hamill and R2-D2, and just seeing Mark Hamill's performance throughout this movie, just amazing. I mean, you know that he is Luke and he's a veteran actor, so I enjoy those scenes overall. But not to make things long, I pretty much saw this movie as 3 stories: Luke, Rey, Leia, and Poe, Finn, and Rose. And the Poe and Leia, you know, kind of interactions were pretty good, or Poe and General Holdo, however you pronounce it. Those were pretty good. I really like and enjoyed that storyline, and kind of Poe trying to do things, and at the end learning that sometimes, you know, you have to step back. You don't have to be the hero. Sometimes you have to kind of step back for the good of a rebellion and regroup. And so I really enjoyed that story of Poe learning those lessons. I know people had an issue with Princess Leia kind of being blown out of the ship, and her kind of like moving her hands and using the Force to get back in the ship. I really enjoyed that scene. And the reason why I enjoy that scene is because finally we get to see Leia use the Force. Finally, after being hinted out that, you know, does she or doesn't she is Force sensitive. And, you know, someone brought this up. I saw this in an interview. You know, don't quote me. You know, I'm not, you know, trying to say verbatim here, but I don't remember how they said it. And how they said it was that, you know what, Anakin, you know, try to pretty much turn to the dark side. Anakin turned to the dark side because he wanted the power of life and death. He wanted the power to bring people to life. And here we are, The Last Jedi, seeing Leia coming back, almost what it seems from death, because we all thought that she died. And, you know, she, you know, comes back to life and pulls herself back into the ship. And, you know, these people, this, you know, I guess Sith, turned to the dark side, or Anakin turned to the dark side because he wanted to possess that type of power. And look at Leia, you know, she's a general You know, she handles herself as a princess, as a leader, and she can also use the Force. And she didn't do that by turning to the dark side. So I just thought about the possibilities of the Force and how we're probably just scratching the surface of what the Force is really about. And let's not forget Kylo and Snoke. There's not really three stories. I guess there's four stories in this movie. Kylo Ren and Snoke and how things just went down. I really enjoy that. It's something different seeing how Kylo outbested Snoke with his mind, even though, you know, Snoke was kind of saying, you know, I know what he thinks. I know who he is. He cannot escape from me. I see everything. And technically, you know, we saw that he didn't really know Kylo Ren. You know, he outwitted him. And just, you know, everything that happened in that scene, Kylo and Rey fighting those guards, I thought that was amazing. You know, I still think, you know, the fight between Darth Vader and the men in the ship in Rogue One, I just think that's the best scene overall in the Star Wars universe, in all the movies. I really enjoy that scene. But this comes second. I really enjoy this scene. I guess it will be my second, you know, if I had to rank it from 1 to 10, this will be number 2. So I really enjoy that scene between Kylo Ren and Rey, and just them, you know, I guess even that scene where they she's trying to, or they're both trying to get the lightsaber, and you see them, you know, how powerful they're, you know, they're trying with their powers, trying to grab the lightsaber. I just thought that was kind of neat. I know a lot of people were trying to make fun of the fact that Kylo Ren and Rey were communicating to each other. They were calling it Force Skype. You know, I really enjoy that because, like I said before, it's just something that we've never seen done in the Force. And just, you know, the things that we're probably gonna get in the future. So we're just beginning to scratch the surface of the Force. And yes, I'm probably forgetting a bunch of other stuff that I enjoy, but I really enjoyed the last scene, the final third act of this movie. I enjoy how Luke projected himself across the galaxy. You know, how it took all of his strength, all of his might, and pretty much taught Kylo Ren a lesson. You know, he doesn't really know, you know, everything about the Force, and his anger is just getting the best of him, and knowing that his father is always gonna be with him in his heart, and that's never gonna leave him. That's always gonna be like a splinter within his bones, you know, within his soul. And just seeing that scene, you know, at the end, Luke just surrendering to the Force. Even though I didn't want him to go down that way, I still wanted him to come out in episode 9 as Luke, not as Force Luke, because I'm sure, you know, I would think they will bring back Luke Skywalker as Force Ghost, but I just really wanted him to come back as Luke and just fight Kylo Ren, you know, for reals fight him, not Force, you know, fight him. But I really enjoyed that scene, and I think if he had to go out any other way, this was a proper way to have Luke pass to the Force and beyond. This movie finally left us with Rey being the Jedi and Kylo Ren be the supreme leader, or a Sith type of, you know, villain. And so I like the way that it pretty much clarifies for us that now Rey is the Jedi, because, you know, we got that awesome cameo from Yoda, and, you know, he was a jokey puppet Yoda and also kind of serious Yoda as he was having those conversations with Luke. I'm glad they made him a puppet and not CGI Yoda, because that really bothered me from the prequels. But now this movie has set the tone that, you know, we got Rey as the Jedi, and we saw the books, the Jedi books in the ship as Finn was trying to cover Rose, and now we have seen as Kylo Ren established as the supreme leader, ruler of the First Order. So now there's no, you know, is she gonna be a Jedi? Is he gonna turn to the light side? No, now it has been established that Rey is for the light side and Kylo Ren is for the dark side. Now for my dislikes about this movie, there's one little tiny one and one big one, like an eyesore. The little one was when finally Rey gives Luke the lightsaber and he just tosses it over his shoulder. The reason why it bothered me is because throughout The Force Awakens, it kind of been hinted that the lightsaber and the Force chose Rey, and Kylo wanting to get the lightsaber and even telling Rey that belongs to me and fighting for the lightsaber. And even in The Last Jedi, they kind of were, like a tug of war fighting for the lightsaber. And just the meaning of Rey climbing those steps at the end of the Force Awakens and giving her the keepsake, the lightsaber that once belonged to Darth Vader, and then Luke, and obviously Luke lost it when his hand got chopped off, and just looks at it and just tosses it over his shoulder. And I just felt like that took me out of the whole movie. Yes, that scene took me out of the whole movie. I just felt like, what's going on? I felt like they just made that scene a joke out of the expense of my investment in The Force Awakens. And the biggest eyesore is the story of Finn and Rose and I guess CJ. Honestly, I didn't care for anything that happened in the casino or canto, scene. I really didn't enjoy none of it. It did feel very prequel-ish, I guess. To me, it's like, just get over with this. But I guess we have to have it to, honestly, I don't know why. Maybe to show that little boy at the end of the movie with the broom and his shadow looks like he's holding a lightsaber. But to me, there was nothing really redeemable about that scene. Maybe the only thing that was kind of funny was a little drunken, you saw the little guy with his little monocle and he's trying to put coins in BBA's, a little slot. And I just thought that was a funny scene. But overall, that casino scene didn't work at all. So every time we would go from Rey, Luke, and then Canto scene, I was just pulled out of the movie, and it just felt clunky and it felt out of place. So that was one of the biggest dislike about this movie. I know a lot of people didn't enjoy the comedy in this movie, and if I had to put it in scale, The Force Awakens, the comedy was like up to here, and The Last Jedi was just up to here with jokes. And honestly, a lot of those jokes didn't land. Even, I went three times to see this movie, and the first time I went with a lot of Star Wars fans, and there were a lot of laughs. But the other two times that I went, there weren't really. There were some people that were fans, some people that weren't fans, and a lot of the jokes didn't land with that audience. And so, I just wish they would have toned it down a little bit on the jokes, but I really didn't mind them. And I'm just gonna take a few minutes to talk about how people feel on the internet when it comes to Star Wars movies. And yes, this movie got a lot of hate from fans. I mean, critics really enjoyed it, but fans really were kind of divided in this movie. And I'm just gonna say something that I wrote to someone on Facebook, because they didn't really enjoy this movie at all, and they weren't sure if they should go back to see it a second time. And after seeing it the second time, I enjoy it. I enjoy it better than seeing it the first time. When I went to see it the first time, a lot of the fans were like, oh my God, this is the best movie in the world. I really love it. And I even said this out loud. I didn't love it. I didn't like it. And then I thought to myself, should I really tell people how I feel? Because if I tell people how I feel like they're gonna, make fun of me or talk smack down at me. And I didn't want to get the backlash of my thoughts. But then I really have to sit down and think about this, and I thought, okay, if I see it a second time, would it be better? And honestly, it was. And I know some people are thinking or saying out there, well, you shouldn't have to see it twice for you to love it or to like it. Once you see the first time, that's it. You should see it one time. Trust me, I get that. You should see it one time to either, make up your mind about this movie. But me as a fan, I kind of wanted to see it a second time and to really evaluate it because of me, because of how I felt, not because of what other people thought, not what the critics thought, not what other fans thought, but I wanted to go in a second time and see, am I giving it a fair chance? Because we're so quick to judge nowadays. And honestly, seeing the second time and the third time, I really enjoy, this movie. And, I still don't like the Rose and Finn parts. I still don't like that scene where, Luke throws the lightsaber. Maybe other little things that I probably can't remember now. And this video will be too long if I talk about those things. But this movie made it more enjoyable. So I don't hate it like some people hate it. I like it. I don't love it, but I don't hate it or dislike. I like the movie. I think it's a good movie. I could never make a Star Wars movie like Rian Johnson made this movie, or George Lucas, or any of the other directors that are making Star Wars movie, by all means. But I really like this movie. I'm not gonna talk smack on people who hated it or who loved it. Your opinion is your opinion. So whether you love or like or hate or meh this movie, it's what you wanna feel. And those are my last thoughts, guys. I hope you guys enjoy this review of The Last Jedi, and I'm sure I forgot a bunch of other things that I wanted to talk about in this video. But it's almost Christmas time, and I hope you guys have been good boys and good girls so Santa and your family members bring you some cool Star Wars stuff. And with that, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. And like always, can't wait to guys have it back here at Rural Reviews. Bye, bye,